But that's not the case. I mean, I went to university. I did not feel good, right? I didn't pull the best grades in high school, probably got into a better university than I should have gotten into based on my performance in high school. It wasn't because of my feelings. It's because I wasn't focused on it. And that, we're talking about a cultural problem, what's going on back at home, as was in my circumstance. And none of that is because of institutionalized policy. It almost seems like you guys refuse to accept that, Black students aren't performing well. You feel like you have to have this burden of responsibility when, in fact, if you actually wanted to help, you would look at the facts, re-examine the fact that it's not helping anybody, it's not helping Black Americans to artificially place them into universities, and you'd make effective change.
But you're making the assumption that Black students are academically inferior, and they're not.
No,
they're
you
some of
are
our most brilliant students that we have.
That's the basic, no. That you are making the assumption that they are inferior.
You just said that they don't belong there.
Policies. I'm talking about the students that are based on the policies that you are defending right now, saying that we should have these policies that let them into these universities, not based on their skill set, but based on the color of their skin.
Hi guys, my name is Favor.
Hi, I'm Nasima.
And you're welcome back to this channel. So today we're going to be checking out a video together. It's basically a debate on reverse discrimination amongst students in schools, right? And after watching the video, we are going to be sharing what we think about the video, and we really love to hear what you think and your thoughts too. So please, after watching, please drop a comment in the comment section so we'll know what you think. Let's get right into the video.
Based on what I read, see in the media, talk to people about, this is a topic that almost everyone feels strongly about one way or the other. I want to hear what the audience has to say. Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, if you're white, someone can discriminate against you, but there's no systemic basis to it.
But if it's becoming part of the university admission process, if it's determining hiring practices, dismissal practices in industry, is that not systemic?
You could nitpick and find little instances on both sides. But I think if you look at it as a whole, then you begin to understand where it's coming from.
Who else has a comment? Yes, sir, in the back.
My name is Dan, and I think it's great that you try to fix some of the inequities that have happened in the past, but I don't think it should jump to the front of the line when you're going to college or you're trying to get a job. I think it's important that we address it very early on, where a lot of the major issues are happening in the families of some of the ones that are maybe disadvantaged, or if they're having trouble in school, it started at the elementary school level, where once they get to the admissions process or get to a job interview, it's based on your merit.
Candace, are we compromising standards if we do that because we haven't fixed the problem down the line?
That's correct. It is, the policies are harmful also to the people that they purport to help. And we have all of the evidence there to look at. When you artificially place a Black American into a school in which they do not belong based on their knowledge, doesn't mean that they go on to get A's. In fact, there was a Black adjunct professor, you guys have definitely heard of him, Dr. Thomas Sowell, who was teaching at Cornell University, and he found that the majority of the Black American students that were there were on academic probation. Now, these students were some of the smartest in the nation, but because they were artificially placed amongst their peers at Cornell University, they were failing on academic probation. These policies have never helped Black Americans. It's just basically policies that are put in place to make people feel good, right? I feel like I'm doing something when in fact I'm actually creating harm. You either know the answers or you don't.
When you say, hey, we have Black students at a particular school who aren't performing at that school as well, the immediate assumption that you're making is, well, maybe it's because they're not smart enough, they're not good enough, or they don't belong here. Whereas it could be about the experience that they're having at that institution. Professors who believe that they're not intelligent enough, that they don't have the capability to do the work, that they see them as criminals, deviants, dangerous, up to no good, or they talk about them with the they statements. They're lazy, they don't care, they don't really belong here. They're only here for the financial aid.
I'm giving you actual facts.
No,
right?
I'm giving you actual facts based upon extensive
say, well, maybe they
research
just
that's
don't
been
feel
done.
good. But that's not the case. I mean, I went to university. I did not feel good, right? I didn't pull the best grades in high school, probably got into a better university than I should have gotten into based on my performance in high school. It wasn't because of my feelings. It's because I wasn't focused on it. And that, we're talking about a cultural problem, what's going on back at home, as was in my circumstance. And none of that is because of institutionalized policy. It almost seems like you guys refuse to accept that, Black students aren't performing well. You feel like you have to have this burden of responsibility when in fact, if you actually wanted to help, you would look at the facts, re-examine the fact that it's not helping anybody, it's not helping Black Americans to artificially place them into universities, and you'd make effective change.
But you're making the assumption that Black students are academically inferior, and they're not.
No,
They're
you
some of
are
our most
actually.
brilliant students
That's
that we
the
have.
basic. No. That you are making the assumption that they are inferior.
You
It
just
is
said
why
that they
you
don't
want
belong there.
policies. I'm talking about the students that are based on the policies that you are defending right now, saying that we should have these policies that let them into these universities, not based on their skill set, but based on the color of their skin. So you are assuming that they are inferior.
When you start judging a matter based off of skin color, I think that whole judgment has started up on a wrong note.
No, yes.
Totally wrong note. Because, and that is actually true, a lot of Black people get into schools. And these schools, right, may not actually be for them.
Yeah.
The truth is, what is not A is not A. There's nothing you can do to actually change it, right? A lot of people have a particular point that they would actually excel very well in, right? And I think we should start picking people or allowing people to get into schools that they merit, not because they are Black, not because of their skin color, not because you're trying to pity them, pull up a pity party just because they suffered years back, and then because of that, oh, let this person just go to this school, whether they merit it or not, just because of their skin color, and then they get there, and then they are not doing well, and then they are on academic probation.
Yeah.
It just makes the whole matter worse. I mean, if you trust a person, if you trust that, oh, this person can actually do well, then you would judge them based off of what they can do and allow them go to schools that they actually merit. Black people are not dumb people. They are not. I mean, a lot of Black people would actually, do their exams and actually get qualified to go to these same schools. But not that you just pack all of the Black people and just send them to these schools just because they are Black. That's not how things work. That's not how it should be.
Definitely. And, to add to what you said, because I feel like I keep saying this thing continuously, the moment you start doing this pity card or judging people based on their skin color, even if your intentions are good or whatever, the fact that you started on the wrong notes,
Yeah.
Nobody's going to understand anything anymore. Once you say, as a Black person first, whatever comes out of your mouth afterwards is not making sense anymore.
You said as a Black person.
Yes, it doesn't make sense anymore. And and as you said, a lot of especially the Black communities, because we are addressed as one of the minorities in America. We don't really get privileges as much as other races, especially the Asian and the whites. We don't, because there are some schools that a lot of Black people want to take their kids to, but because of maybe financial reasons, distance, because of the majority of the students there are whites, we have this this kind of inferiority complex thing, and we're like, just go to the neighboring school where there are more Blacks there, where there are more mixed, where there are more Hispanic people there, and all of that. And we feel, because this high schools or this, first class schools, the moment you tender your application that, okay, I want to study in this school, they don't even look twice at it. They're like, you're Black. And sometimes they look at it like, well, if we don't accept this person, a lot of eyes are going to be on us, like as if we're racist. So let's just accept some Black students. You don't even check if these Black students are actually good or not.
Yeah.
And because of the poor background that most of all these Black and other races of students have in, some poor schools that they had to go to, not because of they want to, but because they had to, they do very poorly there because their mind is not there. They're just in school for school's sake. They're not there because of this is, okay, for example, I want to go to letter B school, but I'm forced to go to letter A school because of circumstances. I won't put my all in this particular school because my mind is not there. I don't want to study here. I don't want to study here. I want to study here. What makes you think that Black person that is studying here cannot do better there? That is what Candace always is talking about, that it's these policies that they're setting, that they think that they're trying to use to help Black people. It's not helping. Yeah. You're doing more harm to them because you're making them to lack. You're making them to lag behind mentally, because they're not understanding anymore. They don't have that drill, they don't have that motive, they don't have that drive to, study more and become successful. They're just in school for school's sake. And then later on, the government tries to okay, you know what, let's just pity some of them and let's just put them in this. And that's why a lot of students are on probation, because they're not doing well the way they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And that was why I think one of the audience talked about that they should start from the elementary school where you don't discriminate. Because I hate to say, but some schools in America right now, there are some places that white people go to. You can't go to there, even though you guys are in the same school. And there's some places that some clubs, maybe sports clubs, cheerleaders, for example.
Yeah.
If you notice, cheerleaders are mostly white girls. I don't really see black girls as cheerleaders. There is either they'll say, oh, you're black, you're oversized, you're too tall, you're too this. You don't give them a chance to participate. So when they grow or when they move to other schools, they're not used to that thing. They're not used to that system. They don't work well. They don't work well in this environment. So what I feel like should happen is whatever environment you're creating for education should be education for all. It shouldn't be just education for this set of people. It shouldn't be this education to favor these people. It shouldn't be education to pity some kind of people. It shouldn't be education to make some people feel inferior or to feel, bigger than the other people. It should be, equality.
Yeah,
everybody
education for
receives the
all.
same punishments, the same credits, the same A's and B's. If I get it right, I want to have my A. If I don't get it right, tell me I'm wrong. Don't tell me, well, I don't want to correct you so it won't look like as if I'm racist or
racist,
something.
yeah.
That is what she's talking about. Like, treat me the way you would treat your child. Treat me the way you would treat your friend. Don't treat me because I'm a black person or because I'm Hispanic or because I'm Asian or Indian or whatever. That is what, they're trying to say.
Just add one thing, right, before we close this chapter, right? It's just basically for us to know. Like, I feel like we should all know and be conscious of the fact that there are schools and there are schools, right? The quality of education a particular school will give you at the elementary stage, another school may not give you that.
Yes.
Right? And you're not getting the same quality of education. So obviously, the person getting better quality of education tends to do better than another person. And then you don't just pick somebody that is not doing so well and just put them up there because you feel, because of their skin color, let's just put them up there. It's just going to make, the whole situation
You're creating
worse.
more harm than good. That is it. So it's just, like you said, definitely. It's like, from the beginning, the elementary school, parents and guardians are forced to put their kids in schools that they can manage and schools that exactly. And when that happens, and a kid that is not brought up well and a kid that's brought up well will never grow up. When they grow, they would never be able to relate. It's normal.
Not at the same pace. Right?
That's why we have class. According to Karl Marx, we have classes of, we have class in society. We have high class, middle class, and lower class. Lower class has no business with high class. They would never, it's very, very rare to see them relate, but they hardly relate because the way I think is not the way you think. I might spend, 100K at once and some other person will be like, 100K at once? That's what I would use for like 1 year. How did you get? They would never have that sheer understanding. It doesn't mean they're a bad person or they're good people. But what they try to say is that people who have poor education, who were brought up poorly and they have to manage their way up, they have more tendency to create more harm than good if they are not properly taken care of. If things don't go properly well, they might create more harm than good. So this policy is not helping anybody. Let everybody be opportune to go to any school they want to go to. You want to go to Harvard? Sure. You want to go to Oxford? Sure. You want to go to New Jersey?
Standards.
No problem. Just make sure that your brain, you have something working here. You are able to, meet up with, that is just, it's not because of your color, whether you're black, green, yellow. Nobody don't care about that. That is what Candace Owens is actually trying to communicate to everybody. And as for the blacks, we should stop this victimizing thing that we do of letting everybody
It's
feel like
very tiring.
that is why most of all these whites feel
so
they need to pity
tiring.
us. That's why these whites feel they need to pity us because we victimize ourselves so much. We're like, oh my God, a lot of people, they're being racist towards me. I've been facing racism. Nobody cares about us.
We've been suffering from years past.
Yes.
I mean, it's gone. Like, just let it be, right?
You know one thing I like about we that are not whites? We're strong. prove to these people that we are actually strong and we are
Yeah.
able to face any challenges. We suffered in the past, so we're still living. You have to fight and keep moving. You're alive, so keep moving. You don't need to victimize yourself. Someone is being racist to you today, shake it off and move on with your life. Do like as if there's nothing happened. You don't need to cry out to the whole world so that everybody will come to your beck and call. That is why most of all these whites keep doing this pity. Oh, let's just listen to what they have to say so that we don't look like racists. So now that is what is giving birth to this whole, inferiority complex and all of that, because we victimize ourselves so much. We do this pity, I don't know, but we should just stop that. Let them start seeing us like, okay, we are also up to the task. I think there was an hospital where a white woman said she's not going to let any black nurse touch her or, inject her or take care of her. She wants a white person. Yes. Yeah, I think I saw it, yeah, on TikTok, yeah. She was like, no, I am not letting a black person touch me. I want a white doctor. Yeah, she was pregnant, and she was like, she's not going to let a black person, birth her child for her.
Wow.
Like, because the reason why she said so is because she said these blacks belong to menial jobs. They don't, this kind of high-end jobs. Because I could understand what she meant, because what she's trying to portray is that blacks don't receive enough education and enough knowledge. So what are you doing as a nurse or as a doctor? So
But
it means you're probably not capable enough.
That does not that does not span out to every single nurse,
but that
right?
is what they think, and that is because of what we project to them. Because we victimize ourselves so much. So it's almost like as if she's saying maybe they use pity card. Maybe they just pitied her to become a nurse. So I don't trust you with my body, because what if you're not capable enough? I want a white person that I'm very sure of, that had a good, upbringing, that had good education, that has, a better understanding of how it is. Let him take care
This
of
policy
me.
is just worsening things.
It's
crazy,
worsening
man.
things.
It's real crazy. Anyway, guys, that's what we think about this video.
Yeah.
We've shared all that we think about this video, and so we'd like to know what you think about this video. So please don't forget to comment in the comment section. We would really want to hear from you guys. So please comment in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and also subscribe so you can, get notifications when we post other videos. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Favor.
My name is Nasima.
Bye.
Bye.